Pursuing careers in science, technology, engineering and mathematics STEM has long been a daunting challenge for many students. The complexity of these subjects often deters many from pursuing programs in these critical areas. While scholars worldwide have developed models to simplify the teaching of STEM, these approaches often fail to resonate with African learners, overlooking the rich cultural and contextual elements that shape the learning experience. Recognizing the critical need for culturally relevant and contextually appropriate teaching methods, the African Center of Excellence for Innovative and Transformative STEM Education, ACEITSE, has developed the Culturo-Techno Contextual Approach, CTCA, to bridge the gap between traditional STEM education and the unique needs of African learners.
Sometime in 2018, we got a call that the World Bank is taking proposals from several universities, and we got particularly interested. I'm sure you know the story of the distinguished Professor Kebukola, who was our father within the department then, and he decided to put together a team of 4, myself, himself, one Professor Olabi, and Dr. Akitoye, the current Deputy Central Leader, that we need to go into the literature, find out what is in vogue, where is the gap in the literature about teachers training in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. What can we do to better the situation? We saw it as a challenge, and we've said that we should just pull together our resources, put up this proposal, and see whether it will sail through the hurdle of selection by the World Bank and see whether we can have this Center of Excellence. That basically describes the story of the beginning of the Africa Center of Excellence that we are talking about today.
Before we had this Center of Excellence, LASSO was known, but this center has brought it even more, to the global attention.
With funding support from the World Bank, ACEITSE is tackling one of the continent's most significant challenges, the deficit in STEM education, by addressing the critical challenge of knowledge deficits among STEM teachers. Through its world-class training and leadership programs, ACEITSE is shaping the future of STEM education in Africa by equipping educators with the tools they need to lead, innovate, and reform.
When I was at the University of Ibadan, 1970, all we were hearing were models of how to teach science in a better way. And these models were largely Western. And I thought to myself that there are several aspects of the African culture that are not captured in the configuration of these models. I decided to be looking at some aspects of teaching using the African lens, drawing from the African culture that can let our students do better in STEM. So we had global assessments in STEM. There was one in 1984, another one in 1986, another one in 1993, where African countries were not doing as well. So after 40 years of research, I and a team of scholars then decided to propose this Culturo-Techno Contextual Approach, CTCA. Culturo-Techno Contextual Approach is a teaching approach that has 3 elements embedded in it. One, in my view, the primary one is the cultural. That means we are teaching science from the cultural perspective of the student in Ghana, in Nigeria, in South Africa, in Kenya, in Egypt. So you're talking about a phenomenon in science, osmosis or entropy and all of that. And if the student can relate to the immediate environment, to the culture, that is sweet for that student. So that's culture. The other element is technology. By the time we launched the CTCA in 2015, we found that technology has come to play a very significant role in delivery. So we have that embedded. And then context. You see, you are teaching something in research professor Michael Ahove's city called Badagry. You are teaching about aquatic habitat. Badagry is located, is a coastal city. And you are using examples from Florida or from other coasts in the world. Whereas the context, across the road there, you have that context. And most teachers don't do that.
The purpose really at the university level is to get the would-be teachers, those people we refer to as master teachers of the STEM subjects, to understand how to use the approach to teach the concepts that they are being taught, that they are teaching in the secondary school. So if we are using it at the university level, it's for that purpose. But where the thing is really to be devolved to is at the secondary school level or even primary school level, where one of those things that has been found to be very, very potent in establishing what the learners are able to take from classrooms is the experience that the learner has in class, which is informed by their own contribution, first of all. So if we are able to get students to make contribution to lesson, there is a definite position that what the learners are able to take out of such lessons will be better than when they were just passive in the teaching.
The influence of CTCA reaches far beyond ACEITSE, as graduates of the center apply these innovative teaching methods in schools and universities across Africa, spreading its benefits to countless others.
Using CTCA in my school, I've been able to impart over 2,000 students in my school. The center has contributed to my sources, whereby I actually send paper for publication, and presently there's an international conference which is NAS at USA. So a representative is actually on his way to NAS to deliver my paper.
My research focuses on the impact of CTCA, design thinking, and differentiated learning on the attitudes and critical thinking activities of students in chemistry. So basically, I'm trying to compare these teaching methods or pedagogies to see which is more effective in the teaching of chemistry. So basically, I have been able to understand more concepts before that I really do not understand before now because of the CTCA model.
I think as a lecturer, I know the method I was using. And from the introduction I got from CTCA, it shows the difference between what I've been using and the CTCA. So that means because in Africa we don't have the facility much, I think CTCA is a very good approach that I can take back home and then try to see how best I can improvise using the CTCA approach.
What I am actually looking at and will want to see is to see the center to be more active in promoting, what we call the indigenous ways of teaching, especially for our teachers in Africa, because our aim is to have university, let me say to have African universities, not just universities in Africa, so that we have teachers who are thinking in the African way to teach science, especially, because we have been so much missing in so many ways in those areas. We are even thinking that we have to go further to use this possibility to advance to what we call STEAM instead of STEM, which means science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. Because we have been thinking that why would we leave arts out of science? And I think the students I have seen so far who have graduated, I think they have taken it very seriously.
Since its establishment in 2019, ACEITSE has been offering MSc and PhD programs in STEM education and entrepreneurship, with specializations in biology, chemistry, mathematics, and physics. Also, ICT education with a focus on artificial intelligence and cybersecurity. Additionally, The center has provided professional short courses to over 500 participants covering fields such as data visualization and other related areas.
We developed 2 courses, and as a matter of fact, part of the formulation suggested that we should develop courses in entrepreneurship. So those 2 courses are compulsory for all students that are passing through the center. And very recently, we decided to provide some seed fund grants for students that have very lucrative, innovative ideas. So we called for proposals, and at the end of that call, I think we had about 15 proposals, and right now those proposals are being assessed by a committee that was put together by the Vice Chancellor of the university.
The international students normally have 100% scholarship. When I said 100%, I'm talking about tuition, it's full tuition, accommodation is full, and then we give them stipends too. And apart from stipend, they also have TOEFL, air tickets from their country to back and back when they finish the program. For national students, their own scholarship is half tuition. Our pattern of teaching is hybrid, physical and online. The center has 37 publications, mostly in Scopus journals. We have Journal of Education and Engineering. We have some in Journal of Mathematics and Statistics.
ACEITSE has raised its own building that houses state-of-the-art laboratories, lecture halls, and administrative offices. This infrastructure provides a conducive learning environment for students and faculty.
Everybody inside LASU look at the center as a center that has come to better the way they do things. For lecturers in LASU and for postgraduate students, we have run about 4 workshops that are helping both the lecturers and the postgraduate students in the conduct of research, in the analysis of the data that they have. And for that reason, they are saying kudos to us. There is a 3rd success story which we have mentioned, and that's in terms of internship. We have internship provided for us an opportunity for the lecturers here to mix with lecturers from elsewhere and have cross-fertilization of ideas.
To foster collaboration and knowledge exchange, ACEITSE has established partnerships with renowned institutions both within and outside of Africa. These partnerships have facilitated the exchange of ideas, expertise, and resources, further enriching ACEITSE's academic programs and research endeavors.
My strategic goals is about the welfare of staff of this university. So the staff that are already there, they are assured that there will be constant training. The training that we enjoyed when the funding was there will not stop. We have increased the IGR of our university, so that is enough to even sustain that center.
As management, as council, we need to actually sell what this center has been able to provide for the Lagos State University, both in terms of infrastructure and in terms of capacity building. Present it to government. I'm sure the government will listen to our Vice Chancellor.